Alright, welcome back everyone. Time for some more stasis. Let's head into this next room and see what we got. This place looks lovely. It's fallen from its arbitrary, only crawl in aimless pre-purgination? No doubt delirious. Okay. Let's see this hybrid over here.
This shit is straight out of the eugenics war. I taught this in my history class. All of this research will be lost. Does that mean that this was for nothing?
For nothing.
Alright, let's see. Let's make our rounds. Healthy organism. It seems healthy, though judging from the fury in its eyes, it's far from pleased. Bone mending glue. I'm running out of places for stuff. Emaciated, starving.
Most human, especially their eyes.
Don't get too close.
That sounds like I need to get too close. Tiny hybrid. It's tiny, clinging onto life by only the finest of threads. It's not a pleasant sight to watch something so small. I'm find between life and death. Strapped down hybrid. It's moving, but it seems unaware of its surroundings. Or it may have accepted its fate. A frighteningly thin creature, courtesy of Kane Corporation. Alright, let's look at these. PDA time. Charlotte Williams. Oh, Francis, I still lie awake at night thinking of you. You'll haunt my dreams, my nightmares, my fantasies. We found love, dear, even when we worked in Kane's Sydney laboratory lab, creating viral strains that could turn a human inside out. We loved and made love. Ours was a match made in heaven. We worked on only the most exciting viruses and pathogens. Our work together was Mozart's Requiem, a place of perfection. My work is now a pale imitation of what it once was. Oh, Francis, how long ago it was now. Must be 10 years. But it feels like only yesterday. You were too sick to transfer to the Groomlake when I did. You died just as I took my post, but don't fret, my angel. I've begun concocting a way of bringing you back to life. I've always called you my little Frankenstein. Do you remember? Shredding the boundary between life and death will always be my ultimate goal. Well, now, with Project Seed entering its second phase, my plans can be put into practice. Laboratories are off limits between 2 and 4 a.m. That's when I work. Naturally, I prepare all my calculations on machine settings in my quarters. I keep the subject under a false name in one of the pods. So far, not even Dr. Milan knows what I'm doing. Each major laboratory operation I perform takes no more than an hour, and I always erase the machine records at the end of each one. I'm using your DNA, my darling. With the enhanced regenerative abilities of the genetic material we've already synthesized for Seed, you will be reborn, but you'll be impervious to physical degradation, immune to sickness and pain. I'll have done what you've always wanted and made you perfect, and when you step, healthy, unblemished, reconstituted from your glass womb, you'll never leave me again. I have a feeling this is not going to go well for her. Things have felt strange lately. My work continues, but I swear, darling Francis, I feel you watching me. I'm trying to work longer hours to complete the new and reborn you, but it's not easy. Marvin has already had a look at some of my work. I'm sure as if he'd have any concept of what I'm trying to achieve. Okay. Got my cadence wrong there. I still wonder, my darling, why you cursed me as you died. You know it was an accident. I know you remember that. It wasn't murder. I've never committed a murder, not even when we tested that pathogen on those troublesome neighbors. It was an experiment. How were we to know that they'd choke to death on their own innards? I suppose death was a possibility, but that's science. I fear for your continued life. I'm afraid Milan knows. Who else knows? Have they contaminated you? I will run extra tests to make sure your code is not flawed or altered in any way. I'm anxious. I've started scratching my arms badly. At this rate, I may end up looking like a leprous toad backman. Oh, my dearest Francis, I have failed you. Milan knows. He's confronted me about it directly. He wants me to take you just like them. He wants me to make you just like them. I cannot have you crawling around on all fours like a dog in the streets. The very idea offends me. I will protect you with my life. You will be reborn. I swear this on my life. Alright. Crazy lady. Let's look at the terminal. Birth reports. Lana. Terry McCourt, First Lieutenant, Marine Liaison. Subject observations. Rambunctious. Subject appears to have inherited her mother's powerful physical build and latent aggression. Lana has the makings of an excellent alpha female candidate. Recommendations: move Lana to a group cell, as isolation appears to promote irritability. Daryl, host, Willow Brody, nurse. Quiet but intelligent, attempted to pick the lock of his cell yesterday, but it failed to escape. Excellent puzzle-solving skills, while not especially aggressive, has a strong build. A thinker clearly. Frederick, host, Marie Maxwell, non-crew member. Carter from Phobos. It's not ours, is it? No. Subject shows little of his mother's solid frame, but is a superb hunter. Stalks and learns taxes by observing the others. Appears to be developing a strong tactical mind. Nay. Ellen Maracheck, space tourist. That's our wife. One to watch. Cunning, extraordinary, fast, and dangerous. Appears to prefer isolation as attempted pairings result in fatalities. Takes alpha role easily. Dominates the other novae. A definite candidate for Lana's mate. Well, we know what happened to our wife. Alright, let's go to the next room. Okay, what's this? Strapped down creature, another PDA, 2 PDAs. Mainframe computer. Coolant pipes. Alright, let's look at this.
Don't go any further. I'm warning you now.
How could you do this?
I do with my children as I see fit.
It's barbaric.
Spare me the pity of the righteous. Your daughter owes her life to me.
What do you know about Rebecca?
ARG was good on this ship, Mr. Maracheck. Cancer, HIV, Ebola. I eliminated them all. Her life is mine to do with as I choose. Oh yes, I know about everything, Johnny boy. I know about your daughter, and all about your wife. You are accountable.
Jammed his signal, John. You need to hurry. We're close.
Alright, let's take a little closer look at this guy. Nothing? Alright, we got some PDAs to read. Hey, Milan's PDA. The new year begins and the wheel turns. Oh god, these things are take forever to read. The wheel turns and the Groomlake continues to lead the vanguard of science discovery for all of humankind, yet I feel dissatisfied. Even as the peons who work under me celebrate the new year, I wonder why. Why would we celebrate such an asinine concept as the outdated Gregorian calendar on a ship that's currently swimming through the depths of space? The reason is clear: comfort. They fear the unknown, the alien, the impossible. I do not. I embrace the unforgiving cosmos with open arms. The problem with the research we do is that the humans doing it, constrained as they are by conscience, remorse, and sometimes even fear, we try to grasp the infinite and give it framework that ill fits its cosmic splendor. This is my 10th year as Special Projects Director for Kane Corporation. Despite my discoveries and quests for knowledge, I'm held back at every turn by paperwork, moralizing scientists, and the group of degenerate toadies that sit on the board with. If I were rid of them, and my word would be God. My word! Not the word of a corporation. Still, they have their uses. The research is funded by Kane, and the Groomlake is kept running by the money and personnel they provide. But time will change. I'm inundated with emails from all departments about inconsistencies with storage and contaminated samples. This grand masquerade is sometimes more tedious than it's worth. Worst of all, it was Dr. Way and that technician, Miss Callister, is it? I'd normally make short work of such troublemakers, but it hardly seems worthwhile. Troublemakers must be allowed to make trouble because if they disappear, that legitimizes their claim, and somebody will always take up the fallen crusader's torch. Dr. Backman's tendencies are becoming harder to restrain. I'm well aware of his shortcomings. The old man is brilliant, as he is deranged, yet he manages to go about his work with a sociopathic glee. He's useful to have around. He requested more bodies for seed, specifically more women who were recently pregnant. That is problematic as we have very few women on board, and imports are not easy to come by. We may have to play this one under the radar. That fool Dr. Gray complained yet again about his beloved insects becoming more aggressive as a result of power outages. So what? Let them spill out onto the decks as far as I'm concerned. Importance of seed outranks the hydroponics project work by 1,000 to 1. I do like playing chess with Dr. Gray, of course. I win every time. A little fact he's unlikely to tell anyone, although he does seem quite happy to contact anyone who's interested with the opinion that he'd be the next best candidate for my job. Sebastian, you could not handle what I do. If you believe otherwise, then you're as great a fool as I imagine you to be. When the day that I foresee comes, your rotting corpse will be under my feet, and I will laugh. Dr. Williams is still under the delusion that I don't know about her personal research. Officially, it's illegal for staff to conduct their own research, but this is interesting. Recreating her dead lover in the form of a hybrid? How fascinating. If it works, I'll make use of it. If it doesn't, then I'll burn the rest of the rejects. The woman is obsessed, and I know that DeSantos is playing no small part in feeding her delusions. I know her secret research won't cause me any problems. I've never allowed her on Project Seed. So it seems contaminated waste from the corpse disposal overspill is contaminating the ship. It's causing fungal growths, or so my various drones tell me. The fungus is a riveting proposition, though. While I'm angry at Dr. Backman for terminating more subjects than are strictly necessary, these unattended side effects are fascinating. I intimated as much to Dr. Gray, and of course, stroked his ego with hints of promotion and glory. He'll keep the fungus alive. Engineers want it destroyed, but I'm sure we can delay that. This experiment is becoming more and more engaging by the day. I haven't even had to lift a finger, so while they clog up my inbox with demands and Rome burns, I play the violin. We're more than secure here anyways, and this has a certain inevitability about it. I must record the daily developments as the experiment grows. It is as I foresaw, panic, destruction, and mayhem, and yet Seed continues apace. Once the fervor and the flames die down, we'll sweep the decks of detritus, or detritus, depending on how you want to pronounce it, and repurpose all of it for my beautiful hybrid creations. No more growing plants for the good of mankind. God is no longer in the machine, my friends. I am God. My beautiful children have excelled themselves. They kill, they learn, they adapt, a primal species without any of the trappings of morality. It's their time now. They almost came to be once many years ago, but they were snuffed out by humanity, afraid of its natural successors. This systematic extermination was given a name, the Eugenics Wars. The public knew it as corporate warfare. In truth, it was a coordinated genocide. Humanity wasn't ready for Professor Guerin's astounding discoveries and sought to destroy it. His work was not perfect, of course. That's where I came in. Spent most of my life as part of Kane trying to access Professor Guerin's original work. Old man Kane pushed me to the top because we shared an ideal, the utilization of science for the perfection of humanity. Where we differed were the methods by which this was to be achieved. Not that he had much more to say after I held the pillow to his face as he lay in the hospital bed. He's a lovely man. Creation of our species from raw subjects will become impossible now that the crew are dead, dying or unclean, but that's hardly an issue. Any subjects who were flawed or imperfect have turned into the fertilizer that will nurture the perfection of the surviving race. Now the challenge is moving the Groomlake out of range of any other ships. No one can be allowed to escape the ship alive. Any good, strong survivors will become members of the new race. I am the creator, I control, I transcend. DeSantis, I'm so very disappointed in you. A distress signal? I thought we were of the same mind in Seed. I'll castrate and destroy you for this betrayal. Your flawed body is hardly worth becoming one of my children. But for now, I must turn off this accursed signal. You cannot hide from me, Marvin, you drug-peddling little fuck. Alright, we got that taken care of. Life support machinery. Where are you going? Oh, you don't want to touch that? Robert Lincoln. I've been reassigned to investigate the disappearance and murder of 2 scientists in the employ of Dr. Milan. A strange matter, to be sure. I've been observing the movements of some of these eggheads, and I can't say I'm too impressed. Doesn't anybody around here record their comings and goings or make any notes? There's no traditional organization, departments whatsoever. Project Seed answers to nobody, this I know. But I thought these scientific types always made notes. Not that I care about admin, but I very much care about finding out who's selling weapons-grade secrets. Industrial secrets are a matter of life and death, especially death in this case. My investigations will be thorough and no stone will be left unturned. The staff here are strange, and in fact, I'd say lots of them are even crazy, but I couldn't care less. I just want names and answers. I got this job because I get things done, not because of my warm and caring personality. At the moment, people are taking umbrage to my investigation, but security is a constant essential part of shipboard life, especially when we're talking about industrial espionage. 2 missing scientists are, but it seems based on modified records I found that they were killed and ejected into space. Any other man would assume that these 2 were criminals, but I don't buy that. As far as suspects go, I've ruled out Charlotte Williams, Marvin DeSantos, Charlotte because she doesn't know where she is half the time, and DeSantos because he's just a smirking shit for brains. Confident that he's involved in drug dealing, and I will give him this. He is cautious and acts like a real ladies' man, but I know the truth. I've seen him rejected repeatedly at the bar. Since July, I've had to operate under the pretense that I'm an assistant, and I'm lucky that in my career I had some emergency room experience. The only person who knows about my true purpose here is Dr. Milan. He's been encouraging. He constantly supplies me with information that I require for my investigation, and at times a little bit overly helpful. Still, he seems honest enough. For the record, I'm well aware of the kind of man Dr. Milan is. I've seen his experiments with my own eyes. I've seen what happens to when the bodies are disposed of, the burning fires of the furnace. But he does what's required to justify the means. There are few men in the world who will do what has to be done. For that I admire him. He told me to watch over Dr. Williams' experiments. It seems they're unofficial, and although I'm prepared to report to Kane to have her removed from the position, Milan immediately overrode my request. I respect him, but to be honest, I don't like having authority overruled. How many more of these are there? Just 2? Alright. Bachman of all people was sniffing around today. It seems the old psychopath suddenly became curious. I asked Milan for further instructions and he told me to incapacitate the old man. This I did. A shame I had to break the old guy's kneecap. Honestly, I was hoping to slit his throat, but Milan insisted on he remain alive. Alive and in pain, but unable to move. Revising my early position on DeSantos' character, I still think he's a pathetic little shit, but now I believe he was partly responsible for some of the stolen information. He strikes me as an amateur, put up to this by an outside agent. I'll deal with him soon. But first I've got to monitor his movements, make one move, pal, and I'll have you. Alright, so this is long. Alright. Milan has earmarked me for one of his experiments. I know this because when I attempted to leave the ship to report to King Corp, I discovered that my access was restricted and blocked. Came back to my quarters and found Milan waiting. He was waiting with 2 of those hellish creatures he's created. I'm not squeamish, but those things make me nauseous. I'm currently awaiting what he calls processing. I suppose that's the stage I should make peace with God. I've killed many men in my life, and I'll never say I feel remorse for it, and I won't give Milan the satisfaction of hearing me pray for mercy. Last notes on the affair are that Milan himself is the heart of the events on board the ship. I was blind to it. I refused to believe that he was capable of creating such just devastation. I always thought scientists liked control. But Milan breaks those rules as far as science is concerned. The leaked information and the fungal growth, the missing scientists, I'm beginning to suspect that he even knew DeSantos was selling intelligence and may have fed him the information to sell. To what end, I don't know. I suspect it's because DeSantos kept Bachman drugged to the eyeballs with whatever powerful stimulants he happened to have so Bachman could continue his work. I can hear the machines being turned on. I welcome my fate. At least I know I did my job for the Kane Corporation. That must be this guy. I bet that's this guy. Open power cell housing, huh? Alright, so we need to get those power cells to put in there. The ones from the other part of the ship, probably. Let's go over here. What are we doing? Can't break through it. Use anything we have?
Probably not a good idea.
If we just use the twisted metal.
That's just crazy. Although...
Alright, so let's look around here, make sure we didn't miss anything. Surgical laser. Oh, that's how we put the power cells in there and we use the surgical laser. That's the trick. Well, I mean, the trick is going to be to find the power cells, figure out how to get them out. But that's the basics. Fluid drain. Make sure we didn't miss anything here. I hate when I miss stuff. Fluid drainage. I was thinking about trying to pry it up. Let's go back to the power cells. Go back out to the main area here. Take a look.
I can't see it working like that. This isn't gonna work.
Alright, let's stop and think for a second. Alright, so let's think. We need a key, right? What do we have? This new stuff is bone mending glue. Will this work? Aha! I guess he's gonna, what, pour it in the lock and then it'll, like, freeze? Something along those lines. Alright, so what can we do with this?
This isn't gonna work.
No? Maybe we have to attach it to like to this? Oh, yeah, apparently that's exactly what we have to do.
Power cell will result in power interruptions in areas adjacent to this node.
Good to know. Boop. Power's out. Alright, I feel like we probably don't have to do it this way, but since I have limited inventory space right now, let's come on, run, dude. Come on. Let's go ahead and put the one power cell back. I don't want to glitch out the game by having too much stuff in my inventory. Alright, go on. Alright, we'll go in here. I assume this is just gonna work for all of them.
Power cell may result in subject and or equipment failure.
Power didn't.
Shouldn't wake up from this.
They're all gonna die now.
Go to sleep, my baby. Don't worry.
Sorry, my frame rates have taken a little hit here. Kind of ruining the moment, huh? Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. So they're dead. So are we just supposed to assume that one of these was his wife? I mean, they didn't ever actually say it out loud, but I assume we're supposed to just assume it. Alright, so we're gonna have to run it. Run another one of these back. I really wish I hadn't taken that extra milk thing now. But we'll drop it off. We'll head back. Power cell. Alright, 2 down, 1 to go. Oh, whoa, whoa. I was gonna walk through that laser grid there for a second. That would have been bad. Get the last one of these open. Maybe that high-pitched wail in here will finally stop. Doing this thing here reminds me of Alright, and power down. It didn't seem to really do much in here. Reminds me of those keys some places you have to use to turn the water off at your house. That's what it reminds me of. Alright. Let's get back in here. Take care of some business. Power cell. And then I assume we're going to use the laser cutter to break the glass wall. Whoops. That is not exactly what I meant to do. Take 2. Take 3, I suppose. There we go.
Warning. The environmental control and life support system has been compromised. Please report to the visitor center for further instructions.
Alright, let's get through here, I guess.
Abnormal neural activity detected.
Is that us? Mask zone. Animal testing. You know, I was kind of hoping to finish this episode, but I think I'm gonna have to stop here. Hope you're enjoying it. I think we probably have one more episode left if I were gonna guess at the length of this game. I feel like we're approaching the end. But I'll see you guys next time.